Hi, my name's Margaret Johnson, and I'm a web student at the University of Southern Queensland. Currently I am studying the unit Self, Education and Society, and what you are viewing now is my multimedia presentation addressing the question, how might education mediate difference and dominance? On the 7th of May 2011, a journalist reported clashes that were occurring in the capital city of Cairo, in Egypt. These clashes were between Muslim fundamentalists referred to as Salafis and Egyptian Christians known as Copts, which left 8 dead, over 100 injured and a church ablaze. The reporter went on to inform us that the Muslims attacked the church to free a woman whom they alleged was being held against her will due to the belief that she wanted to convert to Islam. The parish priest told the reporter that the victims here were the Copts who died when thugs and Muslim fundamentalists fired at them. It was reported that they also complain of discrimination and regular sectarian attacks. This article highlights a difference that is tension through intolerance that not only occurs in the Middle East but in westernised countries such as our own, Australia, and where we are seeing more and more cultural backgrounds being intertwined and mingled into various communities within Australia. This intolerance that I'm speaking of often arises out from misconceptions, misunderstandings, ignorance and fear, and is often mediated through the idea of other. When we talk about other, we are in fact making a comment or statement about ourselves, our beings, and in that comment we state what we are or are not. Going back to the article, you will have noted that I had made mention of the parish priest's views on the Muslims as Salafis and thugs. They are the othered in this instance, regardless of the fact that the priest himself only accounts for 1 of the 10% of Copts in the country's 80 million population. Thinking about the other also conjures up ideas of difference, since the other is implying what one is not. Therefore it is different. Difference implies that there are at least two parties involved that are being in some way compared to. Men and women are different, as are adults and children, black and white. I have straggly hair whilst you may have sleek smooth hair. These differences, although different, are biological. We are born this way or that. These differences are inborn. The differences that are highlighted in the article involve differences of beliefs, ways of life, and these differences come about through our choices or our upbringings. These are learnt, and we learn them through our family, society, school, and friends, as well as through the media. So difference is just that, different, with everyone viewing the world from their own perspective. In a social context, difference should not be seen as a deficit or a disadvantage or impairment, but rather as something that is diverse, just like the country we live in. Australia is viewed to be a diverse country due to the multiculturalism that inhabits this land. But through this multiculturalism, much tension has also arisen, maybe not to the extreme that we have seen occur in Cairo or elsewhere in the Middle East, but over the course of years, these tensions and intolerances have split communities into war zones. Take, for example, the Cronulla riots, or the resistance occurring in towns with the attempt to blend migrants into smaller communities, such as the Sudanese in Toowoomba, or the erection of Muslim schools for the Islamic population. These issues have demonstrated anxieties that seem to exist within the Australian psyche of what it means to be an Australian. So, from the basis of ethnic difference indicated by the events in Cairo, I would explore with the students in year 8 or 9 how ethnic difference is understood in Australia and how it touches on the notions of Australian identity. Would like to brainstorm with the children what the term multiculturalism means in Australia. In fact, what the term Australian means, or Islam, or Christian, or Muslim. What is it to be one of these? How are they defined, and how are they portrayed in the media? Are they negative or positive? Would like to pair the students up and ask them to interview each other to find out a bit more about their own cultural background. Where were they born? Where were their parents born? Do they speak other languages at home? And once all of this was collated, I would ask the students to come up to the front and introduce their partners to the rest of the class. I would have it up on the whiteboard to give an overview of diversity of cultures in the class so that everybody could see just how diverse the classroom was. I would like the children to also look at the word diverse, meaning different, and looking around the classroom how we're all different, but how our differences aren't negative or should not be seen as negative, that we each have something unique to bring to the classroom and to each other. Would like to look into the history of multiculturalism. Ask the children to maybe pick a cultural group and they could do some background research on that group. When did they first arrive in Australia? Who were the first people who arrive in Australia, and how did they get here? We'd like to look at the different cultures in our community. That's the end of my multimedia presentation. I hope it wasn't too boring, and I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope I do well. Thank you.